Hey up, how we doing? Are we alright? I'm very excited tonight, a very special episode. I have had a beer mail from the legend that is John Anderson, Abbey Homebrew, one of my heroes, absolute heroes, a trendsetter on YouTube. You BrewTube official admin. Let's talk about him in a bit. I'll show you what we've got. I'm going to incorporate a couple of videos here into one because I'm cheating. So he sent me, got a Dunkel. I got a Bock. I think this was a Nova Lager. But tonight I'm going to be drinking, while we do a bit of a trendy set, the American wheat, because I absolutely love a wheat beer. I'm going to put these back in the kegerator, keep them nice and safe and chilled and all that goodness inside at the right temperature. And we'll get this open. American wheat, 5.5 of the ABV. I've got the grain bill and the hops in this. Yeah, sent me the link. Brilliant. Let's get it in a glass. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a little drink of this, obviously, and enjoy it, lovely. And one of John's things that he's set, he's a trendsetter on YouTube. So he was the creator of the Lazy Sunday chat that some people have picked up on. He was the trendsetter of looking around my brew space, which I did one. The 10 minute, sit down, have a chat at some point, Thirsty Thursday, Lazy Sunday. Don't edit it, ain't got time. It's brought some people, hasn't it, back? People who we haven't seen. Heathen Brewer the other day, saw the Heathen Brewer, fantastic. Rusty Homebrews, chucked a few out. Great to see him back, just to mention a few. John Anderson, Abbey Homebrew, why is he not in Dudes Brews subscription level? I'll tell you, absolute legend. Get over, get that button click for him. Let's see him up there. Brilliant, brilliant guy. Regular content. Nice bloke as well. Really nice bloke. Fantastic. Normally, as a sup out of one of these, not the Tiny Rebel, but this sort of shaped glass, doesn't he? So we're going to do that. I don't know if we ought to have a wheat beer glass, really. This will be all right, won't it? This will be all right. I'll get it in the glass, have a look at the grain brill. It's just got citra in it. And we'll have a talk about what I have done well. Two things I've done well in home brewing, and two things I've not done so well, got it wrong, regret it. Should we do it? Because that is another one of his trend-setting things that he's put out there. Let's do it. These are off keg because he's been bottling these three beers a bit. I did send him some a long time ago. I don't always remember, and I don't know why I was so special, because he doesn't send beer mails out that often. I was lucky enough to be the chosen one. And yeah, he had a bit of, I think he got an eye tap, but he hadn't used it for a while. So I think he didn't video it, but it sounds as though it was a bit of fun. That is, oh. Okay. Don't know how vigorous. I don't need to be that vigorous, do I? Look at the colour, that looks thick. Looks thick. Big fluffy white head. Let's have a look at the grain bill. I'll get my spectacles on. So we've got wheat malt, 3 kgs, Pilsner malt, 2.50, Carapils, 0.30 kg. We've got some citra, 17 grams at 70 minutes. That's a boil, isn't it? Not my lazy 40. I like to start that trend. Lazy 40-minute boil video. And 23 grams of citra at 20 minutes, 78 degrees. Both at 14.2 alpha acids. Now, is yeast, Saf Ale, US 05. Lovely job. Lovely job. Right. It's got a floral, really florally. Florally? It's got a florally smell that I had on a couple of Pat's Brewery beers that I had. Was it Dunkel? Might have been his wheat. Okay. Oh my goodness. That smells different to what, well, it doesn't completely smell different to what it tastes, but yeah, citrusy and fruity. Bitterness all the way through it. Carbonation, you can see it just at the top. Look at that. Streaming up the glass with a lovely white head. Ooh, yeah, Citra USO 5 in a wheat beer. We're getting much bubblegum banana. The floralness on that nose is absolutely incredible. And my nose is rubbish, absolutely rubbish, but there's no mistake in that. Lovely mouthfeel, beautiful mouthfeel. Really hugging your tongue. Wheaty. It's wheaty. Anyway, right, let's get on to the other part. We'll let this warm up. I thought this glass held a pint, but well, it does. It had a massive head, didn't it? I'm a bit overexcited, I've got to be honest, getting these. I'm a bit overexcited. So, 2 things I have done well. 2 things I haven't done well and I regret. I think this is the gist of it. Should we do good? Now, what good? What's the best thing? It's hard this, it's really hard. Firstly, I'm guessing it's moving from kits to all grain. We get some great kits out there now, don't we? We do. There's no getting away from it. But the leap from kits to all grain and the quality change, it's a massive step. Also, you can just do your own, can't you? You make them up, make something up yourself. And I think that's probably one of the biggest things for me. I did kits for years and years and years and years and years and years and years. Well happy. And but then when I went to all grain, it was an absolute game changer. The quality is just a different level, isn't it? And to coincide with that, I'm using it as number 1 as well, kegging. So when I did kits, I used to put it in pressure barrels. Notoriously struggled a bit with them, but that's the nature of them, isn't it? And then I started kegging. So corny kegs, game changer. Absolute, get your carbonation right. Although I suppose generally, for me, I did the kegging at the same time as having a kegerator. So can we use that as well? So yes, a kegerator. So kegging your beer in a corny keg with CO2, getting the carbonation just right, and then pouring it from a tap from a fridge. When people come round and have a look, they go, oh my goodness me, that is so cool. And still, all these years down the line, I still think that kegerator is so cool. Keezer's kegerators coming into your brewery, your garage, your man shed, your bar, pulling a beer from a tap that you've made. I mean, seriously, it's got to be the feeling. I still get the feeling. I still get that feeling when people come and have a sip. First see it and go, oh my goodness, look at that. And then you pull them a beer and they go, cool, that's tasty. What is it? And you go, I made that. You just, it still gives me as much joy. So that's number 1. Is that number 1? I'm calling that number 1. It's a bit of a cheat, that, isn't it? Number 2, probably like most people are going to say, temperature control. Temperature control. Can't get my teeth in. Turning a fridge into controlling temperature. I used to chuck it in a bucket in my airing cupboard. Notoriously risky. So at the right temperature in a fridge. And that's not a dear bit, I don't think, either. Getting an old... My first fridge was given to me. I bought an heater for like 15 quid. And okay, your Inkbirds, they're not super cheap, but it doesn't break the bank. I think I paid 30 quid for my Wi-Fi when it first came out on offer. 25, 30 quid. It doesn't break the bank. For the quality change you get, monetary wise, it is worth absolutely every penny, or it is for me anyway. As I said, again, this is just my thoughts, you know. So yeah, temperature control for the quality of your beer, I think is a must, and it's not going to break the bank. You've got to have the space. I understand that, you know. You've got to have the space. But you can, you know, you can have a go with a heat belt, can't you? Or a plate that you sit your bucket on. Yeah, I mean, I think that's number 2. Or is it, oh, do you know what? Moving from a mash tun that was made out of an igloo to a all-in-one, if you can see it, but that there, so that's now my hot liquor tank. Well, that used to be my boiler. And I used to mash in an igloo, if you go back and watch my old videos. Yeah, do you know what? I'm chucking that in as well. I'm breaking. I don't care. Right, okay. These 2 and 2s are going out the window here, aren't they? Because this is ridiculous. You can't do 2. I mean, I think John did 3, didn't he? He came back on his next video and did another one. So, do you know what? I'm just changing it up. Yeah. So going to an all-in-one. I love it. And I guess if you've got an all-in-one that's app to your phone, mine hasn't got an app to the phone. I can set mine, but it doesn't go to my phone. That's another game changer again, isn't it? For time. Cleaning one vessel up. So yes, yeah, I'm putting that on. 2.3. 2.4. Cooling. Now, at the minute, I'm pretty standard. I've got a cooling coil that immerses into it, runs cold water around it, hot water, picks the hot water up. But, I mean, you can get plate chillers and glycols and all sorts to use now, can't you? Yeah, so I'm going to put that in as well, because chilling that down quickly instead of leaving it somewhere where you're either transferring it to a vessel that's sanitised to let it cool down over time. All the time you're doing that, and that yeast isn't in there, there's a risk in there where you don't get any infection to get it, but to get it in there for then the yeast to get in and then get, do you know what I mean? Get it chilled down, get it in whatever you're going to ferment it in, and then get the yeast in it straight away, and it's there, it's all contained in it, especially as if you're pressure fermenting, that I'm going to be doing soon. I've done something today that I'm not going to show you, but I'm testing something else. Yeah, so chilling, get it chilled down as quick as you can, get the yeast pitched, get it into your controlled temperature, and away you go. 2 bits up 2.4. That's drying out a bit. 2.5 water treatment, pH, goes hand in hand. For a few salts and additions that aren't expensive, gypsum, Epsom salts, calcium chloride that you can buy in small quantities, and a pH meter, getting your pH right if you're going to do hoppy beers especially. Yeah, that's a good one, innit? That's a good one. That's a bit of a game. It's changed my hoppiness. And I say pressure fermenting I am going to be going into, which is what I've just referenced, is going to be a game changer. Everybody tells me, I've got a Firmzilla, everyone tells me it's going to be a game changer. Anyway, the things we've done good. That was not how that was supposed to go, ladies and gentlemen. There's supposed to be 2, just 2, but I couldn't. That ain't going to work for me. Things I've not done well, badly, I regret. I would change. I have changed, to be fair, because I've made the mistakes again. So when I did kits, I used bottled water, and then when I started doing all grain, I used my tap water, but I didn't put any Camden tablets in them, and I got away with it for much longer than what I probably should have done. I didn't even think about Camden tablets. Taking the chlorine and chloramine out, is that what it does? Take chlorine or chloramine. Anyway, and we had a really hot summer, and I had 3 batches that tasted like TCP, and the general census ended up being that because the weather was so hot, the water board puts a load more rubbish in to try and keep the green off while they're stored, and then it comes through to you, obviously, doesn't it? And I get that. They've got to do what they've got to do, but that impacted 3 lots of my all-grain beer. 3 all-grain beers, 5 hours of brew. That was a bit of my life that I didn't ever get back. I drank 1, the other 2 ended up being chucked. And I hate chucking, and I left it, and I left it, and I left it, and I left it. I've got plenty of kegs, but I just couldn't drink it. I could not drink it, and I hate chucking beer away. What a waste of ingredients. What a waste of time. What a waste of beer. Camden tablets, I've not had it since, and we've had a hot summer this year. So I'm guessing it's that. Treat your water for chlorine. RO water, so this is number 1. I don't use RO water, and I'm not sure I'm going to use RO water, I've got to be honest, just because of the massive waste. And I know you can save it to wash things up, but you lose a lot of water compared to what you get. And I don't think with my brewing it's going to make me that much difference because I'm not that good. So number 1, yes, water. Using, people get proper. I've got what our water is. I've got a sheet, and I could put it into Brewfather. It'll tell me what to put. I will at some point when I get clever enough. But I say it'll be my water, not our. Anyway. Number 2. I used to, so I have a drawer full of hops in the freezer, and what I used to do was buy anything on offer because I'm a cheapskate. I liked a good deal. I used to go around the sites, put in offer, see what they are, buy the cheapest ones I could get. Don't buy the cheapest of anything you can get with ingredients. Okay, a deal's a deal if they're hops you've used, but I used to buy hops that was on offer that I hadn't used before, and I didn't really know what they was for. I didn't even look, I just bought them. So I ended up with lots of hops that, just, I didn't know what to do with them. And I don't know if I ended up mixing with others to make beer, but, probably not the greatest. That's either a Spitfire Hurricane or a Lancaster going over, could be the go-to. So buying hops on offer. Number 2, I had loads of hops I didn't really know what to do with. They didn't really go together. I am now using things up. I've done a few use it up IPAs and things like that, and I'm just buying hops. I'm going to do recipes, and then, I've got some in stock, and I'll have quite a lot in stock still, but do you know what I mean? Am I making sense here? This is all coming out my head, and my head's full of stuff. Number 2, I bought, it's a bit, can we put this in number 1? So number 1, buying hops that's on offer instead of the hops that I wanted to do a recipe. Number 2 is grains. I bought a load of dark grain, and I had a chocolate malt. I did an inventory when I had Brewfather, and I had something like 10 kilos of chocolate malt. When am I ever in the next many years going to use 10 kilos of chocolate malt? I'm just not, am I? I didn't know what I was doing. It is what it is. So yes, buying lots of dark grains. I've got a tub full of different dark grains. I don't need that much dark grain. You don't need that much in it, do you, at a time? Yeah, regret that. Well, it is what it is. Yeah, bad move. So that's number 2. So yes, that is my loose 2 of each that I absolutely cheated, didn't I? Sorry, John, ruined it. But I hope the trend doesn't now go. Everyone just, sorry, that wasn't the plan, was it? I couldn't stick to it. Yeah, not sure. Anyway, thank you for the beers. Look at that. That is thick. Looks thick, but that head's sticking around. Wheaty malty with a really floral, citrusy, a little bit pithy. I've got another box. I love a bock. Oh my goodness, I can't wait for these. And he seems to like that, I think. Anyway, how long have we gone on for? Oh my goodness. That's a long video, I'm sorry. This was supposed to be a quick. Incorporate 2 videos into one. So yes, Abbey Homebrew, John Anderson. Thank you very much for the beers. Thank you very much for setting these trends, because they are going down well. I don't know how you think of them, I really don't. And yeah, just thank you for the content you put out and for being you. I really appreciate you. Thanks for watching, guys. Cheers.
Like, subscribe and hit the bell.